Hey, alright, so let's talk about something that's been bugging me. And with Comic-Con, just finishing up, what a time to talk about it. I want to talk about comic book continuity and a problem that there is with it. Generally speaking, when you talk to comic book fans about comic book movies, the biggest issue that tends to come up is that doesn't fit in the continuity of the book. The book was this way. The problem with, of course, books to movies always have some changes, and just for some reason, comic book fans are really fierce about that not changing. But another problem that comes up with comic book continuity in particular is that comic book continuity is now 60 plus years running, and even they are starting to have problems keeping it straight, and quite frankly, a lot of it doesn't make sense anymore. Let's take a character, say the Punisher. In the Punisher's origin story, if you believe true comic book continuity, he's a Vietnam vet, and he wasn't young in Vietnam, so you gotta figure that means this guy is about 60, maybe even 70 years old. At best, he's late 50s. But in the comic books, he maybe looks 40, maybe late 30s. And so this is where big issues start to come up, because stuff just doesn't make sense anymore. I don't know how many times now Jean Grey's been killed and brought back and killed and brought back. Aunt May has been killed and brought back. It's just too confusing. There is too much to have to adhere to now to make it a feasible story, and I really feel there is only one solution, and that is the death of continuity and a fresh start. I'm sure any comic book fans watching this now just screamed in horror and how writers just need to be better and to make what previously happened work into their stories. But that's just too hard now. There is just too much crap piled on now to make sure that every fact is exactly right when you're working on a new story. So, DC tried this with the New 52. They didn't go complete continuity wipe, which is still a little confusing, but it's a little simpler to follow. But I really feel that Marvel should just wipe the slate clean and start over in continuity. And when I say start over, I mean with everything. They need to end the Ultimate Universe, any other side universes that are out there now. Just reboot everything and make fewer books. Spider-Man doesn't need 4 books. There doesn't need to be 5 different versions of the Avengers. Take it down to 1-2 books tops per character that you want to make a monthly ongoing about, and really focus your stories. Also, I'd say if you reboot in the sense that you're doing a continuity wipe, nothing is sacred anymore. You can change what you want, and that's what the Ultimate Universe was kind of supposed to be, but even it's become a little bogged down, I feel. I say wipe it clean now. Of course they're going to stick to your classic characters, but that's not to say that some couldn't change, even slight characteristics. What's to say Matt Murdock couldn't be black? Does Cyclops have to be a male anymore, even? Change a few things around, but really just the key thing is have that fresh ability to write whatever you want. And yes, I know we as comic book fans, we want what's familiar, but it's time to let some newness come into comic books, because comic books have gotten stale. And I really feel what's kept them stale is having to adhere to continuity. The fact of the matter is, all stories eventually end. We have to let the current stories being told in comic books actually come to an end. Alright, that's it for that rant. Peace.